On March 11th, 2011, Japan experienced the largest earthquake in its history. And you've all seen the news, you all know what happened. And you all know how strongly I feel about that disaster, and how much I've tried to do my little bit to help out up there. I decided I'd share a little story from that day. That morning was the graduation of my first ever batch of first graders. These kids were my first graders when I first got to Japan, and they had come to the end of their time at junior high school on that day, and we saw them off. And so it was a very emotional morning for me. Anyway, after the graduation, we went back inside, we ate our lunch boxes, and some teachers went home, others worked or decided to work until the end of the school day. I was one of those. I was basically just going to surf the internet the rest of the day because I didn't want to take vacation time off just for half a day. And then it happened, you know. It was Shindogo, the equivalent of magnitude 5 where I was, but it was rather terrifying. It was really long, the first few minutes, honestly. I thought, you know, because it kept getting worse and worse and worse, and I thought, oh shit, is this the one? Is this gonna kill me? And then after about 7 minutes I realized it had peaked, and I realized I wasn't gonna die, and then it just came to the whole surreal experience of it. I mean, looking outside the window and seeing mountains, solid mountains, looking like jelly because they were shaking in a different wavelength to the wavelength you were shaking at, and it was trippy and surreal, absolutely surreal. And a few minutes, really just a few minutes later, I remember I was back in the staff room after going around checking the school with some of the other teachers, and I saw that legendary NHK broadcast where the announcer was unable to keep his professional calm, and he basically just said, if you're near the coast, you've got to get away now. Just go, just run, just move. And from then we watched live as it happened. The waters scour Japan's northeast coast away, really. Anyway, this year I didn't want to do it again. I didn't want to repost photos of damage. I didn't want to remind people of what had happened and make my usual scathing remarks on government and corporate mismanagement of the situation and whatnot. Because this year, those same first graders who graduated junior high school, most of them graduated high school recently. And so instead, I wanted to remember that day. I wanted to remember the graduation, and I wanted to remember my students. They'll always be my very first ichinensei. They'll always be my ichinensei. And so I dug through my photos and archives and whatnot, and I managed to unearth these 2 videos, one of which I'm gonna play now. And it's a song that they chose to sing to the school, to the teachers, to the parents who were there. And it's a song where they said goodbye. And I think, in retrospect, after all that's happened, it's a very appropriate song for today, I think. So, here it is.